What's up, YouTube? Haven here. Today we're going to talk about the Focke-Wulf 190 A-4 in War Thunder. So first we're going to start with a little bit of a montage. Everybody likes to see that. Then we'll jump into the actual review. And then at the end I will probably narrate some longer form gameplay, just to give you guys a bit more of what I was thinking about when I was playing in the actual game. But please go ahead, like, subscribe to the video. Let's go ahead and get those YouTube things out of the way. It really helps the channel grow. I really do appreciate everybody who's subscribed so far. Big help to the channel. Let's keep it going. Appreciate it. So without further delay, this is my review of the Focke-Wulf 190 A-4. Enjoy. Focke-Wulf 190 A-4. Let's talk about YouTube. The Focke-Wulf 190 A-4 is a rank 3, recently changed to battle rating 4.0 tech tree vehicle for Germany in War Thunder. So I've recently kind of already done a video on the Focke-Wulf 190 A-4 when I did my video about the BR changes made recently to this model and another Focke-Wulf variant. Before that video, I hadn't played a Focke-Wulf 190 in some time. They had been previously unlocked, about half of them spaded, and then I moved on to other planes fairly quickly. All this was done about 300 hours ago in War Thunder fighter time. It was so it was interesting for me to come back and play the Focke-Wulf 190 series again, having more experience matured in that time in War Thunder a bit. Much like when I did the P-47 video, it was different this time around because I somewhat knew what I was doing this time. So if you're new to the Focke-Wulf 190 series, you should know that this is one of the better variants in my opinion. The initial rank 2 Focke-Wulf 190 A1 immediately precedes the A4, but this one has better guns and is rank 3, so you can use it for your daily tasks, etc. In general, and this holds true for this variant, Focke-Wulf 190s are excellent boom and zoom fighters. They should be kept in the vertical. Turn fighting, highly discouraged unless you want to go back to the hangar fairly quickly. They, in general, and this holds true for the A4, they have great nose authority, which allows sort of micro adjustments to your aim without completely needing to wait on the whole plane to change direction. You'll see this mainly in like head-ons. At this battle rating, when you're first playing Focke-Wulfs, there will be a temptation to rush into battle without getting the proper altitude and positioning. And I think this is where a lot of new Focke-Wulf pilots struggle. Focke-Wulfs are not the best climbers. They'll be below 109s, they'll be below Spitfires, XP50s, KI-44s, and the like. But having the energy advantage will make your match much more pleasant in the Focke-Wulf. So possibly take the extra time, the extra minute or two, and squeeze just a little bit more altitude out of the plane before you join the fray. Just don't be sitting at 200 kilometers an hour with enemies overhead. Once your enemies are within, say, 5 kilometers, you should probably go ahead and level out, take the altitude you've gained, and make it work for you. Especially if they're 5 kilometers out and they're heading towards you. If they're kind of running parallel towards you, you might have additional time to climb. Keep an eye on it. And if you do find yourself with enemies overhead, you should rely on your speed and energy retention in the vertical. Go ahead and dive out. Use your excellent roll rate for defensive maneuvers. Get them compressing and start engaging them in the vertical. Use your flaps. They are excellent on the Focke-Wulf 190, and they will really help closing the top of your loops. Sort of turn fighting in the vertical as you want, right? Because you shouldn't have to be the highest plane on your team, it doesn't feel like a loss when you give up your altitude, when you dive out. I was able to do a bit of energy fighting and stall fighting with the Focke-Wulf, but it was really situational when I knew the enemy was overconfident, and it felt like they felt like they had strength in numbers, and I punished them for it. But typically it is not what I would call a stall fighting. Another thing the Focke-Wulf 190 series has going for it, and this is true of almost all of them, is armament. If you are forced to take a head-on, you will greatly benefit from the excellent air target belts for the German 20mm, the Minengeschock, I'm butchering that, the Minengeschock belt, right? Those cannons, that belt. When you have a lot of them in the A-4, you typically have a lot of them in most Focke-Wulfs. Combine that with good nose authority, and really smarter players will not want to take a head-on with you or any Focke-Wulf 190 series plane. So use that to your advantage. I find full commit head-ons to be unnecessary, but possibly a feint with a recommit can really pay off in the Focke-Wulf 190 series and the A4 as well. I feel like I'm running out of time, so I'm going to try and summarize. I'm going to steal these points from the Wikipedia and then tweak them based off how accurate I think they are. So, pros, excellent firepower. Yes, that's true. Excellent roll rate for defensive maneuvers. Yes, that's absolutely true. Great energy retention and great acceleration in dives. Yes, absolutely. I modified this to just be decent climb rate. I think they get around 15 meters per second. It kind of sucks until you spade it. Just don't judge it till you spade it. Good top speed, which is true, and now I've added, especially now at BR 4.0, excellent top speed. Good supply for your cannon. Yes, absolutely. Engine almost never overheats on WEP. Yes, that's true. I was basically running WEP full blast, except on the very hot maps. Keep an eye on it. Excellent flaps. Yes, you will really want to leverage your flaps to really maximize your performance out of any Focke-Wulf 190. You need to know when to use your flaps if you're hoping to really maximize your performance. Cons. Loses power above 5,000 meters. Again, this is one of those holdover things from the War Thunder wiki. There's not really any fighting that happens over 5,000 meters in today's War Thunder air realistic. It just doesn't happen. It does happen very occasionally with bombers, but mostly not an issue. Stalls quickly and is difficult to control once stalled. Maybe just be sure that you could deploy your full landing flaps. That'll help a little bit. And then bad turn rate as a high trade-off for the dive speed. Yes, that's true. That's the Focke-Wulf's series. Just know that you're not a turn fighter. Keep it in vertical loops, and you're going to have a good time booming and zooming. But that's it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Now we're going to go ahead and probably get to a couple of games I want to show you. But I really appreciate it. Thanks. So now we'll talk a little bit about positioning with Focke-Wulf and sort of a long form part of the review about the plane. So this is Spain, I believe. I've been climbing at a 20 degree and then probably lowered to a 15 degree on wet more or less the whole time. But this is the part of the game that no one really does a review on, or they don't really explain it. They talk about the plane performance, but they don't really talk about how you can position yourself to maximize your plane's performance. Right? Like this right here. Like, it doesn't look like I'm doing much, but I'm actually running away from that XP. I'm trying to determine where that XP 50, is he going to dive on me? I'm trying to get to my BF 109 ahead there. You know, just I'm feeling out where the enemy team is going, where that I am positioned amongst the enemy team, etc., etc. So at this point, I'm convinced that the XP is not coming for me. I see this 109 in trouble. I really want to try and save the 109 because there's no one else on my team even close. So I go ahead and give up my higher altitude, trade it for speed, trying to get down here and get into this fray. The problem is that the 109 dives as soon as I show up. So at this point, I try and make a boom and zoom on the P-51. Just can't get guns on. So I go back up. I know I got a lot of energy. I know they don't have the energy I've got, so I go back up. What then I notice is this P-51 keeps yammering. It just keeps hammering away. He's like a kilometer. He's not going to hit me. So I pop the flaps. We're going to energy trap this guy. We just go ahead and pop the flaps, turn the nose over on top of him. He's completely stalled out. He's basically hanging in the air. I'm giving it the full 9 yards. I want that guy dead. He's 1 of 3. So I full trigger down. And then, so now I still got a lot of energy. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to see what happens, see if I can get these guys to chase me. I know the Key 61 is not the fastest plane ever. And sure enough, you know, I'm still got some speed. I'm going up. He's chasing. He's losing energy. More and more he chases me. And this is the part, you get him about a kilometer in, you start angling up, popping your flaps. He's going to stall out. He's just not going to be able to keep up. And with the flaps and with sort of semi-stall, I can really let that nose just drop on him. And again, he's not going that fast. I'm going to give him all the guns I got until I knock him out of the match. And that's it. So that's sort of energy trapping 101. I knew they were very confident for having just shut down my teammate. There was a lot of them around together. They felt good about it. So that's a bit more of a longer take on a match. Alright, so here we go. This is going to be sort of a typical start for the Focke-Wulf. Again, I've been climbing probably 20 to 15 degrees full web for a while. I can reach around 3,000 meters to 4,700 meters. But you'll see as the enemy names start showing up, I am not the lowest plane, nor am I going to be the highest plane. So you're going to have to negotiate these situations. You need to be aware of where your team is and where you are relative to your team. I'm watching this P50, seeing what I can do, but ultimately my eye is really on that XP50. What is that XP50 going to do? Am I his target or someone else his target? So I'm keeping an eye on him. I really like to boom and zoom this P51, but I got to keep my eyes up on that XP. XP does decide I'm the target, so it's time to get him fast and compressing, make him lose his altitude. If he wants to chase me, I'm going to at least make him pay for it in his altitude. So get him going fast, get in a dive, start turning, and surprisingly, as fast as we're going, I'm actually going to be a better turner than that XP50 because of how badly he compresses. Did a video on that, just go check that out. So now we're in a defensive scissors. I've actually gained position on him. He is badly overshot, but I don't think I'm going to be able to capitalize on it because of just his energy retention. I've got a teammate coming in, that's great, and now there's this J2M. I probably got pretty lucky there, but again, I'm fast. I'm making it at least a hard shot. So now I see an opportunity where I can go up to this J2M. I do go ahead and take a calculated risk. This is part where I'm really bummed that I have stealth belts for that Battlepass challenge. Although it would have been a really difficult shot for me anyways, using my flaps, trying to shorten the turn. There's just no way that I'm going to be, you know, even in the vertical, am I going to stay with that J2M. So again, seems like some teammates are engaging them and have good position on them. So I'm just going to dive out again, do some booming and zooming. I see a P51 below me. He looks like a juicy target. Going to try and take him out of the match. Managed to get some good hits on him. Look up, there's a P-47 right in front of me. We're going to try and knock him out of the match. And even with the stealth belts, I managed to get guns on. Now, this is funny. I clipped my propeller, and it's not shown in the clip, but I actually do manage to turn that around and land it on the runway and get repaired. But, yeah, I mean, I really kind of wanted to show the beginning of that clip as sort of how you're going to need to negotiate your relationship in the start of the match. Where do you need to be paying attention? How do you need to make sure that you are staying alive and staying as a benefit to your team in the long run? And make sure you don't go back to the hangar. Even if that means you have to dive out. It's okay, dive out. You'll still be useful. You can regain your altitude later. When you're shot down, you can't do anything.